Hey, ladies and gentlemen, what's up? This is your boy Gavin Shaw, and I'm here with my co-host again.
What it is, yo, what it is.
My boy Denroy V. Gums. Listen, we're on another podcast. We're on another episode of The Mind of the King. Today, whatever time you are viewing this, we're going to be talking about happiness. How do I find happiness? How do I define happiness? And what it is really, and how are we able to really pinpoint when we are happy and the things that actually makes us happy. So I think that tonight is going to be an amazing podcast, bro. It's going to be pretty cool. And so we're excited about jumping in this episode now with you guys. So the question is, how do I know when I'm happy? How do we define happiness? Let's start there, bro.
Well, for me, I think happiness, first of all, is superficial.
Okay.
I think it's superficial, but my opinion, my definition, and I think that happiness is superficial because it's based on five senses. It's based on the human experience. It's based on what you could see, based on what you could hear, based on what you could smell, based on what you could taste, you know. So if I get a nice piece of food, some meat or something, you know, feeling a little down, you know, you bring a nice meal for me. In that moment, I could be happy, you know. For ladies, get a nice set of flowers, some perfumes, you know, you smell it, makes you good, brightens up your day. The smell reminds you of something that puts you in a different space mentally. But like the human experience, it's superficial, you know, we're not going to last forever, just like happiness is not going to last forever. Now, there are moments where persons can be happy, and happiness is important. But at the end of the day, I think that it's superficial. It's based on your five senses, man.
So for me, I really think that happiness is a state of mind. But I also think that ultimate happiness comes from feeling fulfilled.
Right.
When an individual feels filled in their life, it brings them a sense of happiness. It makes them feel happy, right? And for someone to be fulfilled in life, I personally think that you first have to find purpose. Right? Whenever you find yourself doing something you're happy or passionate rather about, you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
I think it brings happiness. It brings that sense of happiness to you. And so you no longer feel like you are not fulfilling the thing that you were born to do. Yeah. So I truly think that happiness and to be real, genuine, right? You first have to be fulfilling purpose.
Right.
You have to be doing that thing that you were born to do. Right. And that brings a sense of happiness. Right. Now, what do you think about someone putting that responsibility on someone else? Do you think that a person should put the responsibility of feeling happy on someone else? Let's talk about spouse, right? You're in a relationship, and I think that you are to make me happy. Right. It's your responsibility to make me happy. What do you think about that?
I agree with that 100%, man. You can't come and tell me that it's my responsibility, you know, to make you happy. Now, I know a lot of people may disagree with that, but just hear me out for a little bit, because sometimes in life, as human beings, we cannot even properly articulate our own feelings and our own emotions to someone else, you know, to say, okay, this is what's going on with me, and if I have this, then this is going to make me happy. Because sometimes really and truly we don't even know what's going on with us.
That's the truth.
You know, so to properly articulate and convey what makes us happy, that fulfillment that we want to feel, that we long to feel as a husband, as a wife, as a boyfriend, a girlfriend, sometimes we can't even convey that to the other person. You know, you mentioned you mentioned about purpose and how someone feels good and they feel happy fulfilling purpose. You know, we know that purpose is where your frustration and your joy kind of meets. You know, it's where your pain and your joy meets. You know, the thing that frustrates you the most and the thing that you get delight in, you know, you kind of like find your purpose in that area. For example, with me, you know, I preach and stuff like that. It hurts me to see a lot of people go to church Sunday after Sunday, but they're living unfulfilled lives.
Right.
It hurts me to see that. And sometimes it also hurts me that even after you give your time, your energy, your money to people that mistreat you, you know, it hurts me. But at the end of the day, it is my delight to get up there on a Sunday morning.
Yes, sir.
And preach the gospel to these people.
You feel a sense of fulfillment.
Right. So it's pain, but at the same time, it's like joy. So when we have those emotions, when we have those experiences, that's where your purpose is.
So then what you're saying, though, is happiness is not necessarily when everything is perfect.
Correct.
Because happiness you could have an experience where there is discomfort.
Yeah.
But at the same time, doing what you are born to do or desirous to do or built to do, that brings a sense of fulfillment, which makes you happy.
Correct.
And the experience would be twofold. Mm-hmm. You will have the times where it's hard, it's difficult, it's painful.
Yeah.
But the process of knowing that you're doing what you love or what you were born to do, it makes you happy.
Right. And that's why, again, I say happiness is superficial, because in doing that and going through that process, you're going to feel pain, man. You're going to get a lot of no's. You're going to feel pain. You're going to feel discomfort, you know, and it's not always going to be a heightened joy and happiness and goody feelings. You got to do the hard thing. So to say that, you know, it's going to be something, happiness is something that's consistent. No, it's not consistent. It's something that comes at a response to something. When you get that, you feel fulfilled, you feel satisfied, and then it dies down until you get another hit. Yeah. Going back to what you asked me about the responsibility of a spouse, making their partner happy. I think couples need to understand that you really can't make each other happy. One, because we can't properly articulate what we really want at times. And I think the more you recreate yourself as an individual, it can make the other person happy.
Yes, sir.
You know, it makes you happy to recreate yourself, and it makes the other person interested. It makes the other person attractive. So that newness of you as a person, that fresh version of you is attractive to the other person, and that kind of keeps things interesting. You know, I think a lot of people are not happy in their marriages and their relationships because their partners stop growing and developing.
That's powerful. That's powerful. That is, in my opinion, I think that's the number one reason why relationships stop working out. People become they become drawn apart. Yeah. Because they feel like, you know, as time go, we change. Yeah. And if you remain the same, meaning that you're not willing to change, you're not willing to evolve, you're not willing to grow, right? Then what would happen is I would feel like I'm carrying a weight because we are to grow. Every living organism is supposed to grow. You're supposed to develop. You're supposed to advance, right? And when I growing up, I normally hear this: stagnant water smells bad. It stinks, right? Jeez. And so every time you make the decision not to grow, you're in a relationship and you decide that you're not going to go forward, you're not going to grow, you're not going to get better, you're not going to advance yourself. You start to smell.
Your relationship stinks.
Right?
It stinks. You smell it.
You smell it, right? The truth of the matter matter is you become difficult to be around, right? Because the other person is moving ahead, is going, and you are pretty much like a dead weight.
Right.
I always say this. Imagine this. Imagine you're trying to run a race.
Yeah.
You're well equipped to win the race.
Yeah.
You have what it takes to run the race.
Right.
And to win.
Yeah.
But you have to run it with your partner.
Right.
Right? So it means for you to win the race, both of you have to cross the finish line at the same time.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So look at this. Imagine you started running.
Yeah.
And then you realize that your partner is slowing up. They can't catch up.
Right.
But you can't finish without them. So
Right.
you have to now hold them and start carrying them. What happened is now you're carrying your weight plus their weight.
Right.
And you have to try maintain a speed.
And what's supposed to be a 4-legged race ends up being a 3-legged race.
100%.
And that's hard.
It's difficult because the other person isn't carrying their weight.
Correct.
Right? Rather than holding hands and running together,
Yeah.
the one person decides that, I'm not going to put as much effort in. That's what frustrates relationships. That's what causes people to say, you know what? I don't want to
Yeah.
be here anymore.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm doing this alone. I feel like rather than both of us running together, accomplishing what we need to accomplish together,
Yeah.
it feels like it's just one person doing
Right.
it. And what happened is I become unhappy.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, I cannot be the best version of myself
Right.
because I'm in a relationship and it should be two-way.
Yeah.
It should be both of us.
Yeah.
But because I feel strained, because I feel like I am not supported, because I feel like I have to push myself in this,
Yeah.
I'm now unhappy.
Right.
Right? And so a lot of people, I think, go through life being unhappy, specifically in relationships, because the other person is not willing, they're not willing to take their own responsibility
Yep.
to develop themselves.
Right.
What about self-care? What about education?
Yeah,
what
bro.
about developing yourself with skills
Right.
that's able to enhance and to take what we're doing to the next place?
Yep.
Right? We like to talk about what we bring to the table. At the end of the day, if you're not developing your skill, if you're not developing what you have,
Yeah.
then what you bring to the table will no longer be relevant. If I keep growing and you stick to what you are, what you brought in the first place will no longer be relevant because we are moving, we are
Right.
advancing, which also means that we have to put ourselves in a place that we're both growing and developing,
Right.
because nobody stays the same forever.
Correct.
As time progresses, we grow, we change.
Yeah.
Right? And so we have to accept the fact that we have a responsibility to change also.
Right.
This is my belief. I believe that you should never depend on someone else for your happiness.
Right.
The minute you start to look on someone else for your happiness, you have already lost the battle.
Yeah.
I think that you have to take responsibility for your own happiness. Find the thing that you were designed for, the thing you were born for, the thing that you were built for,
Yeah.
and pursue that. Wherever you find purpose, you find happiness.
That's right.
Wherever you find purpose, you find happiness. Now, a lot of people go into relationships hoping to find happiness. And they end up mistreated. They end up hurt.
Yeah.
Because you go in for the wrong reasons.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
I remember one time my bishop said to me, when he was getting married, he said this. He said to his fiance that he is introducing her to his life. He's bringing her into his world.
Correct.
He exists, right? He
Yeah.
exists outside of her or without her. He is who he is. He's doing what he loves. He's doing what he was made for.
Yeah.
He's working, but he is now allowing her to experience his life
Right.
with him.
Yeah, and vice versa.
At the same thing, vice versa.
Right, right.
But it's not a case where I am looking to feel fulfilled and I'm looking to find someone to make me feel happy.
Yeah.
That will never work. And that puts strain on your relationship because no, you have an expectation of me that does not make sense.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
You have an expectation of me to make you happy.
Yeah.
When it is impossible for that to happen. There are gestures that I'll do that make you happy. There are things that I'll do that temporarily will make you happy.
Right.
But for that longevity, for that genuine happiness, you have to take responsibility on yourself
Right.
to develop what that looks like for you.
Correct. And I think people don't understand that the reason why marriages and relationships, they're struggling is because they're expecting each other to make them happy. You know, in the world today, everybody's looking for a high value man, a high value woman. So if your relationship, as you said, bro, where one person is advancing and the other person is not advancing, then it's going to be a strain, and that's going to affect finances, bro.
Yes, sir.
Because money is value attracts money. So if your partner is not becoming high valued, if your partner is not growing intellectually, you know, if they're not advancing with self-care and taking care of themselves and stuff like that, and adding more skills to their repertoire and their resume, you know, just experience in life and doing different things, then they limit themselves to one type of job, to one level of experience, to one set or particular type of tables they can only sit at. And when you are only able to sit at a particular table, you're missing out opportunities, because the more you add value to yourself and the more you expand intellectually and have different experiences out there in the world, the more you can relate to people. The more you can relate to people, the more they will welcome you at their table.
100%.
And every table has a different opportunity. You understand what I'm saying? Different people sit around that table. There's a variety of opportunities, and those opportunities can put money in your pocket.
100%.
So couples are struggling because they're relying on, oh, my husband has to make me happy, my wife has to make me happy. But if both of you could become high valued and focus on fulfilling purpose, focus on getting your purpose in line and intact, and having a clear-cut vision for what you want to do with your life, how you want to make your money, when you want to make it, you know, what are you going to do to make it for yourself, and by extension, you're going to provide for your family, you know, by bringing value to tables. So it affects finances, and I think a lot of reason, and that's one of the main reasons, that women kind of feel unhappy and men probably feel unhappy because they can't buy the things that they would like to buy. The women, you know, they're scrolling through Instagram and they're seeing other guys that are high valued, making moves, putting their chicks in hotels and all that stuff. Social media is another problem too, bro.
It's an issue, bro.
Social media is another problem too, because we got these ladies, these young ladies that are looking at social media, and all of these women and men that are probably renting vehicles, that are probably taking loans to stay in hotels, you know, and
they're flaunting it on social media.
They're flaunting it on social media, you know.
And people think that that's their lifestyle.
Yep. And it's crazy, because now that social media puts a pressure on couples, it puts pressure on a man, it puts pressure on a woman, and it creates unrealistic expectations.
That's right.
You know, so we bring these expectations into marriage. We bring these expectations into couples, relationships, you know what I'm saying? And we expect people to perform.
Yeah, and it doesn't work that way. And that's the other thing. We have to be realistic with our expectations with our partners. Right? The level of happiness that is fulfilled is dependent on the expectation that you carry over, right?
Yeah.
If I do not expect my spouse to do certain things that I would deem as making me happy, right? I cannot put that expectation on her. Then I don't get disappointed when it doesn't happen.
Right.
If I don't have that expectation, I don't get disappointed. Here is the thing. I honestly believe that, especially in a couple, in a relationship rather, that both persons have to take the time, intentionally take the time to learn each other.
Right.
What the happiness you experience, the joy you experience, that's another thing, man. There's a difference between joy and happiness.
Yeah.
There's a difference between joy and happiness, right? But the happiness you experience, right, can definitely be dependent on the intentionality on the relationship. What do you do when you say, hey, let's sit down and let's discuss what makes you happy? What do you enjoy? What's your love language? Right? When you intentionally seek to develop that space of happiness for the other person. Because I think that serving the other person only allows room for you to be served.
Right.
When you do what the other person enjoys and love, that person would do the very same thing for you.
Yeah.
Most times we're in relationships and it's super selfish.
Yeah.
Extremely selfish. So what we're doing is we're doing whatever we want and we're thinking they want the same thing.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rather than asking a question, hey, what do you like? What do you prefer?
Right.
What music do you like?
Yeah.
Rather than thinking, okay, because I like this, that means they like that.
Yeah.
And so we often be selfish with our behaviors in relationship.
Correct.
And that cause the other person to be unhappy. Here is my next question, bro. Can money make you happy?
Man, that's a good question. That's definitely a good question. A lot of people think that money can make you happy, but I think money helps you to make better decisions.
Okay.
And when you are able to make better decisions, then that can make you happy.
Okay.
Because then you could afford certain things and you can support the things that you like and you're interested in. But again, happiness is superficial, just like money is superficial. But you make $1 million today, if you go to the grocery store and buy a biscuit or a soda or something,
you're no longer a millionaire.
You're no longer a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? So I think money can help you make better decisions. It could position you, you know, to have experiences that make you happy. You know, money can position you to where it allows you to facilitate joy, not only in your life, but in other people's lives. But in my opinion, I don't think money can make you happy, man. I remember seeing, are we allowed to do that on podcasts, man? Like shout out other people or call other people's name or whatever. I remember seeing a post by Cardi B, and she said she kind of feels more happy when she was not famous, you know? And then Akon as well. I saw a video with Akon on social media, and he was just like, he wouldn't trade his past life for anything.
Yes, sir.
You know, he thought that he would have been happy when he made money, when he made millions, but you know, growing up in Africa and the peace of mind, I think that's what it is, bro. Cause with money, if you don't have that peace of mind, it ain't gonna make you happy.
That's right.
It's not gonna make you happy. I think happiness, especially joy, is having peace of mind. You know, is having peace of mind. So, yeah, happiness, man, it can position you to have
money.
Money can position you to have experiences that can make you happy, but you know, money, nah.
I agree with you. You know, it's funny because I have seen, and I think the world has seen, the wealthy being the most uneasy, the most disturbed, the most miserable, if you can use that word, right? People. There are a lot of people that I know that has money and had money, and they were not happy.
Right.
It really just made sense to me that money can make you happy. Right. As you said, it is a door that allows you to have experiences.
Right.
It allows you to create the experiences that can bring happiness.
Yeah.
Money itself don't make you happy.
Right.
Because when you think about a lot of the musicians, a lot of the songwriters, a lot of the popular artists that we know that has millions upon millions of dollars, and these people are suffer with depression. These people are taking pills to try to calm
the nerves, deal
and
with anxiety.
That's right.
Yeah.
And these people have money. So it says to me that it's not, money does not determine happiness.
Right.
Money can allow you to have experiences that can make you happy.
Yep.
And so a lot of people, for persons that believe that the more money you have, the more happier you are, that is really a myth. And I'm telling you, you have to first find yourself. You have to first decide, what were you born to do? What is your gift? What is that thing that you want to spend the rest of your life doing, whether you have money or not?
Yeah.
What is that thing that brings you peace?
Yeah.
Inwardly, what is that thing that puts you on a high whenever you do it?
Right.
If you pursue that, I guarantee you will be happy. Money only allows you to facilitate the experiences that can make you happy, but money does not bring happiness.
And again, man, money brings out what's in you.
It does.
So if you're not prepared,
who you are.
If you're not prepared, if you're a snob, if you're rude, if you're arrogant, money is just going to amplify all
100%.
of that. You know, so
100%.
I mean, you could, if you're not a good person, poor, trust me, you're not going to be a good person rich.
That's right.
You know, it definitely is not going to happen. But man, I just love seeing how people that have money use it to bring happiness and even lasting joy to other people.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Just changing a life, changing a situation, changing a circumstance. You know, people that have money, they do this. And I like to see those videos and those people that do stuff like that. It's just amazing to me. But money can't buy happiness. It could buy experiences that can lead to your happiness, but it can't, man. One of the greatest feelings for me, bro, honestly, is when I'm laying on the bed in the afternoon and my wife is there and my son is there and we're laughing, we're just chilling. You know, for me, that is happiness, and it leads to joy.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? It definitely leads to joy.
Yes, sir.
And it's just an amazing experience. You got people that got money, their kids don't even talk to them, bro.
Yeah.
You know, because they took a loan or something, or they were supposed to pay for something. You know, they were supposed. A father or a son gave each other investment money. The investment didn't go good, and now they beefing. And now they beefing. So, I mean, these are harsh realities. But then you got a percentage of the world's population that have money, and they are happy because they have prepared themselves first, you know, and they've become persons of value. They become persons that are honest and have a pure heart, and they just use their money to spread joy to the world. You know?
Yeah. Now here's this. This may be a kicker. Let's go right back to the relationship thing, right?
Yeah.
What happens when someone finds themselves to be unhappy in a relationship? What do they do then?
If they find themselves to be unhappy in a relationship, I think that person need to first ask themselves some questions, do a little bit of a self-assessment, like, why do I feel unhappy? Why do I feel unfulfilled? You know, scripture talks about examining yourself. So over the years, I've learned to examine myself first, you know, instead of just blaming the other individual. And that I found that to be a good and helpful tool in marriage. You know, let me look at myself first. Let me see if there's anything that is out of alignment. So ask yourself why. Why is it that you're unhappy? You know, are you not doing the things that you would like to do in terms of purpose, in terms of the things that make you fulfilled? Did you have goals set for your life before you got in a relationship, before you got married? Now that you got married, you kind of put your life on hold. That's another thing, bro. A lot of people feel like they have to put their lives on
Yes,
hold.
sir.
You had a calling, you have a purpose before you got married.
That's right.
It doesn't end when you get married.
That's right.
You know, actually, it should get better when you get married, because now you have a life partner to achieve these things with. So you need to ask yourself, like, why am I not happy? And then if you don't get a conclusion, or you don't get the right answers, then you could go to your partner, you know, ask them if they're happy, you know, and then you just have an honest and open and transparent conversation. And it just might be that someone, or even you yourself, needs to undergo some personal development.
Yes, sir.
You know, maybe you need to do that, or maybe you need to just take a break, because sometimes it may not even be the person that's in your home. It may be your job. You know, it may be your goals on not achieving your goals. It may be your job. You know, it could even be your health, man. Your libido is low. You know what I'm saying? Like, your body itself, you just lack energy. You're
Yes,
not
sir.
taking vitamins and all that stuff. You want to know why you just feel drained. So don't kick the relationship goodbye, man.
I definitely I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
Don't I think that we should not be fast to point fingers. I think we should not be quick to blame someone else,
Right.
and to just throw the relationship out
Right.
because you personally don't feel happy. There could be a lot of things, a number of things that will cause you to feel the way you feel, right? And as you say rightfully, it could be something exterior.
Yeah.
It could be something that has nothing to do with your relationship, but it's affecting your overall emotion, right? And then when you start to express that, when you start to express the level of unhappiness, or you feeling like, I no longer want to be here because I don't feel happy here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you do that, you're also creating that emotions in your partner. You're also making them feel funny.
Yeah.
Because they're now thinking they're the reason.
Right.
They're now thinking that I'm responsible for you feeling unhappy. I'm responsible for you not feeling like you want to be here.
Yeah.
Right? What have I done? But as you said, we have to persons should first look at themselves.
Yeah.
Why don't I feel happy?
Yeah.
Most people don't even know what makes them happy.
Exactly.
Right? We mentioned that earlier.
Yeah,
Most people don't even
exactly.
know what makes them happy. But they're expressing, this is how I feel, but not taking the time to figure out, hey, what am I actually looking for?
Right.
What do I want?
Yeah.
What do I enjoy?
Yeah.
What do I love?
Exactly.
And if you have not spent time learning yourself, it is impossible for someone else to know you better than you.
Correct. And I think, man, I think we really, really have a lot of high expectations.
Yeah.
We have high expectations of other people. We even have high expectations of ourselves, you know, unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations. And I think that leads to people feeling unhappy, because I think it's a unfulfillment issue. If you're unhappy, then you are unfulfilled. And you are unfulfilled because you have some expectations that was not met. Your expectations in a relationship, a job, your personal endeavors, you know, your expectations of something were not met. So now that leads to you feeling guilty.
Yes, sir.
So you got self-guilt because you had this unrealistic expectation, and now you're hard on yourself.
Yeah.
So it's not the other person making you unhappy. It's not even the relationship or even the circumstance. Sometimes you're just too hard on yourself, and people need to do away with these unrealistic expectations. Live your life one day at a time, man. One day at a time. Do what you can within the day. If you don't get it accomplished, you know, tomorrow is another day. But we have so many unrealistic expectations. We're hard on ourselves. Our expectations are not met. We are self-condemning. We are, we judging ourselves. We are experiencing self-guilt. And it just puts us in a place where we just feel like trash.
Yeah.
And because we feel like trash, because we made ourselves feel like trash, We thinking it's the other person.
I do also know that there are relationships that's going through a lot.
Yeah.
I do know that there are relationships where one partner is really making it difficult for the other partner.
Correct.
I know there are relationships where one person feels like, listen, I've done all that I could, and this is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
There is no resolve. I've tried everything.
They don't got a hellion. they don't got married to a hellion, man. Troublemaker.
Right? That they feel like, man, there's just nothing else that I can do. I've prayed, I've went to counseling, we've spoke, we've tried everything, and this person refused to change.
Yeah.
And I think that in those instances, I think that you have to ask yourself a question. Do you stay or do you go? Right? What do you see yourself, or where do you see yourself going or positioning for the future? Because at the end of the day, this is your life.
Yeah.
It's your life.
Right.
If you're married and you're a believer, then that binds you to scripture, right? And based on what the situation is, based on the situation, that you will have to say, hey, we have to find a solution. You got to pray. You got to trust God. I personally think that after praying and trusting God, you got to work.
Right.
There must be some work into it, right? Just like we read scripture, you can't read scripture and think that everything is going to go according to it if there's no application.
Right, correct.
We have to apply.
Correct.
And so if you're in a relationship and there are things not working out and you're communicating, right, there must be application to that.
Yeah.
Then we gotta work it out, and we got to make sure that we are doing what we say that we're doing.
Correct.
Other than that, it just won't work. But I know that there are real issues. People are facing real issues, and some people are frustrated. Some persons think, you know what, it's just the end. Before you decide that you're calling it quits, this is what I would say.
Yeah.
Ensure you're doing everything that you are to do.
Right.
I believe I've seen relationships where I have my position and I don't think I should be doing that, and so I'm not doing it.
Right.
Even though this could be the very answer to the issue, because I feel like I should not be doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Right.
And sometimes pride causes us to lose our relationship because we're not willing to just do the extra work.
Correct.
We feel like, hey, why should I be the one to do this? Why should I be the one to say sorry? Why should I be the one to forgive? Why should I be the one to let go of something? Well, if it is causing your marriage or your relationship to strain, right? And you're at a place where you're no longer happy, it could just be that all you need to do is to put pride aside and to say, you know what? Yes, you have hurt me. Yes, you've done this. Yes, you have wronged me. But I make a decision. I've made a decision to move past this, and I'm intentionally going to work towards that.
Yeah.
Not say that I forgive you, but my action says something else.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I think that happiness is something that can be achieved within a relationship, within marriages, within couples.
Yeah.
If there's understanding, if there's communication, and if there's intentionality to work towards what is spoken about.
Correct.
I think that's where you end up. You got to put ourselves aside.
Yeah.
We got to put ourselves aside and say, how can I serve? How can I make you feel better and be better in this situation?
Right.
Even though it means that you have wronged me, if I'm intentional about making this work, we got to forgive and we got to move on.
Yeah, I agree 100%, man. And, a lot of times some people think that it's just life, the human experience, situations are just hard, and it's just that's just how life is. That's just what happens with this human experience. And granted, that is so. However, I think some people are very filled with purpose. They have a strong calling on their life, and when they come together, some marriages they have a strong calling, a strong purpose, and that they could just change nations. Change culture, shift things, and because of that, they experience a lot of warfare. Spiritual warfare. So while you may be thinking like, oh, this person hates me, I don't like this person, or why she always gotta be arguing, why he always gotta be arguing, life is just hard for us out here, we should have never say I do. Sometimes it's just spiritual warfare, because you cannot see the future, and you cannot see what's going to come out of this marriage. You cannot see what's going to come out of your life, how many people you're going to touch and change. And even with your story, your journey, as an individual, and even as a couple, what I'm saying? Like your hardships now is creating a story that people would pay for to listen to experience. It's going to shape a story that's going to help other people. It's going to be an antidote for somebody. So the whole experience with feeling unfulfilled and unhappy is multifaceted. And it could be yourself. It could be that perhaps you made a bad decision with marriage, the wrong timing, good desire, but wrong timing. You were underdeveloped, were not mature enough, and it just could be spiritual warfare.
You said something that I think is super powerful, and I want to stress on it a little bit. And that is the fact that many people would feel unsatisfied, would feel hurt, would feel unhappy in a relationship. And I think it's important that we know when it is spiritual warfare.
Right.
I think that we should be able to discern when this is something spiritual versus something physical.
Yeah.
I think that whenever we mix it up, whenever we forget the fact that we are fighting a spiritual warfare, and when we are attacked in our relationships, and we are dealing with it physically, we're always going to lose that battle.
Yeah.
And so it is important for us to be able to detect and to determine when it's something spiritual and to deal with it spiritually. Right. You can feel frustrated just because the enemy wants you to feel frustrated.
Correct.
Right? There could be situations and scenarios that you're triggered by and intentionally being posed in front of you so you get triggered, so that your relationship becomes on a strain. And that's intentional by the enemy. And if we're not able to discern whenever this is something spiritual or not, we're going to lose that battle all the time.
Correct.
And so it's important, if you're in a relationship, you're in a marriage, that you know that this is something spiritual and it's something that you have to deal with on the spiritual level. Again, I'm not one to believe that you should spiritualize everything and to be super spiritual about everything. There's some things you just need to have a conversation about. There's some things you just need to act upon and change. And there's some things we need to pray about and realizing that this is spiritual and we can't deal with it in physical.
Bro, I don't care what your religion is, man. Whether you Christian, Muslim, Scientology, I don't know what you believe, but you cannot dismiss the fact that there's good and then there's evil. You know what I'm saying? There's some evil people in this world.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the world is messed up, it's crazy. There's good and then there's evil, and there's this evil, it attacks us. It projects images and thoughts in our minds and causes us to do certain things. And we just cannot deny that.
Yes, sir.
There are spiritual realities we should always consider. So I don't care what your belief is, man. Like, you would be on a path of success, and someone that is just a wicked and cruel, envious person will do something to jeopardize your
That's
family, jeopardize your business, jeopardize your store, everything that you have worked hard for. These are the type of people that exist. And sometimes, man, that evil that exists, whatever you want to call it, Satan, Lucifer, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, karma, whatever you want to call it, man. It designed people to infiltrate your life.
That's right.
To disrupt it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So that's just the truth. There's spiritual realities we always got to consider. So, like I said before, it may not be karma. It may not be the human experience, it may not even be you, but it could be warfare.
Yeah.
It could be this evil that is just causing certain things to happen. And if you choose to ignore that, man, I'm sorry for you.
I generally believe that every person deserves to be happy.
Yeah.
Right? I think that regardless of where you came from, regardless of what your upbringing has been like, regardless whether you're male or female, I think that everyone deserves to be happy.
Right.
And when you decide that you're going to connect with someone, whether it be a spouse, whether it be a partner, whether it be
a hellion,
whatever it may be, I think it must be properly thought through. That you can't just connect yourself with any person.
Right.
That if you know what path you're on, if you know your journey, if you know where you're going, if you know your destination, if you know what you're carrying, you have to protect what is inside of you.
Yeah.
And you cannot connect with any and everyone.
Right.
Not everyone understands where you're going, what you're built for, and what you're carrying.
Correct.
And because of that, you have to protect what God has given to you. And so many people, they feel that they are in a terrible position only because they have made a terrible decision.
Yeah.
Right? Your position is based on your decision.
Correct.
And most times we make a bad decision, so we're in a bad position.
Correct.
Here is the good thing.
Yep.
That next move, which means your next position is still also determined on your next decision. And so I believe that if you pay attention to your life, if you pay attention to your destiny, if you pay attention to what God has put upon your life, your next decision will determine your position.
Correct.
And that changes everything in your life. That changes whether you're happy or not, whether you're fulfilled or not, whether you're in purpose or not.
Right.
And so take it very seriously that what God desires for you cannot be shared with everyone.
Right.
Cannot be shared with every person that you think have a good smile, or you think may have good intentions, or you think just have a good body, right? When you're talking about especially a life partner, that has to be considered, that has to be with great intentions, but also wisdom and knowledge.
Right.
That has to be counseled properly, because when you attach yourself to someone and you say this is for life, till death do us part, that's a serious situation, bro. But I honestly believe everyone deserves to be happy, and whatever makes you happy, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, find that thing that makes you feel fulfilled, that thing that makes you feel excited, whatever keeps you up at night, whatever you ponder upon that just would not leave your mind, you go after that. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter if your partner, it doesn't matter if your family, it doesn't matter if your friend think you're crazy for doing it. If you honestly believe that this is what you were born to do, go after it. Because that is where you will experience authenticity.
Correct.
And the great feeling of happiness. That's where you will be your best self, the best version of yourself when you're fulfilling purpose. So don't give up on it. And as we say, bro, don't take your gift to the grave.
No.
Don't do that.
No.
So, bro,
you ain't in, man.
I have another question for you, bro. I have another question. Happiness. You mentioned that, man, it's just a feeling. It's just all your emotions and all of that stuff, bro. Do you think that happiness should be pursued by a person that have not yet made a decision to commit themselves to themselves.
That's a long question.
So if you think that happiness,
Yeah.
do you pursue happiness? Because remember, a lot of people think happiness is in things.
Yeah.
And so what they end up doing is pursuing things. But they have not yet made a commitment to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe that most people, because they have not made a commitment to themselves, it is almost impossible for them to attain happiness.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I'm going to answer this question on the basis of purpose, on the premise of purpose, right? So earlier we said that you mentioned that people feel fulfilled when they are fulfilling purpose.
Yes, sir.
You know, people feel happy when they're fulfilling purpose. Now, I feel like I've cracked the code on purpose. Purpose is discovered, and it's discovered by experiencing a lot of different things. You know, try this instrument, try that instrument, try this genre of music, that genre of music, try dancing, try ballet, try, you know, just try different things. So I think that it's okay for someone to pursue happiness if they haven't yet pursued themselves, because I think that with experiencing these different experiences, they could actually find themselves. You know, I feel like they can find what it is that they're really like, that they are attracted to, what they like to do, because purpose is discovered. So even if that person has not really pursued themselves, you know, I think that they could discover themselves in the pursuit of other things.
Got it.
You get it?
So discovery can happen while life's experiences is happening.
Correct.
So by going through life experience,
Yeah.
you're able to then discover yourself.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because you need triggers. You need triggers. You need critiques. You need something that's gonna probe and provoke you. Sometimes when we try to do our own personal self-assessment, it's like a 25% completion rate. It's a 50% completion rate, you know. But if it's because of that, because we don't have people asking us the right questions. Yeah. We have not made the right mistakes. That kind of
made the right mistakes.
we have not made the right mistakes. So as a person pursues in their pursuit of happiness, whatever that looks like, you know, they're going to get hurt. They're going to make mistakes. Somebody's going to say something, and that's going to trigger and probe and unlock things about that individual that was not there, that they know is there, that they didn't deal with, or that they did not know that it was there, and they unlock it, and now they're capable of doing something that makes them happy.
Got it.
A gift was unlocked. You know, a talent was unlocked. A personality trait was unlocked. So I think it's okay to pursue happiness. To a scripture just came to my mind. I think Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 1. Solomon is telling the young people in chapter 11, I think, he's telling the young people to pursue all that they can. Whatever your hands find to do it, and do it with all your might. But just know that while you're doing everything, you're going to be judged for it. And then he goes on to say, remember your creator in the days of your youth. But Solomon says, listen, man, whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it. Get it out your system. You know, make the necessary mistakes, make the right mistakes, learn from your experiences, and you're going to find purpose.
Got it.
You're going to find purpose. It's going to be discovered.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think it's super important for us to understand that experiences is to be marked and to be recorded,
Yeah.
so that we learn from them.
Right.
I don't think we should just have experiences.
Right.
I think experiences are there so we learn from them and gain wisdom.
Correct.
Whether you fail or you succeed, I think that you have succeed, right? Why? Because every failure is only a stepping stone to your next destination,
Correct,
right?
correct.
Whenever you go through something and it did not work out the way you thought it should have worked out, it only serve as an example as to what you should not do.
Right. Right.
And so most people get overwhelmed and get frustrated because they tried something, it did not work out, and they get discouraged.
Yeah.
Rather than taking that failure and learning from it to say, I know now what I should not do. If I'm trying to attain this, if I'm trying to get to this destination, I have tried this, it did not work.
Yeah.
This only serve as something I should not do.
Yeah.
What about other relationships? I have gone through this relationship. I've tried this type of person. It did not work. Most people that I've seen,
Yeah.
these people go right back to date the same set of people.
Oh, my word. Man, that's a can of worms right
But
there.
I'm telling you, bro, it's crazy. But your experiences in life are to help you make better decisions.
Correct.
Because it only serve as an example. Hey, this didn't work. What about it that I need to learn from?
Right.
Where did I go wrong? What can I change so I can go to a whole different place, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's important for that to happen, for us to take it seriously and say, listen, if it is that we're going to learn from our experiences, one, I think we need to pay attention to them.
Right.
We have to pay attention to the experiences that we're having so that we're able to learn from them.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree.
Yes, sir.
I agree 100%, man. Couldn't have said it any better. I think when you make the right mistakes, you also become a person of value, because with making mistakes, you gain wisdom. You know, if you pray for wisdom, you're gonna get challenges, and oftentimes challenges comes with making mistakes until you find out what's the right method to solve this puzzle.
Yes.
You know, what's the right strategy to overcome this challenge. And once you get the method, once you find the strategy, that's wisdom. And wisdom and value is almost the same. If you're a person of wisdom, like Solomon, man, people came from all over the world just to sit at his feet and be counseled and get some advice, get game. You know, when you're a person of wisdom, you're also a person of value. So we should never be afraid to make mistakes.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, and I think that it's maturity to see happiness in making mistakes. I think that's maturity, like, because what happens is that, as you say, like, you're gonna find out the solution after you've made the mistake. It's
That's
gonna
right.
grow you. It's gonna advance you. You now have an experience in your database that you could go back to, and you could be able to relate to someone else based on that experience.
Yes.
You know, so it just makes you a better person when you make mistakes. You know?
I believe the same thing. I believe it. I think, though, that again, if we're not paying attention to the fact that mistakes should be looked upon as opportunities
Yeah.
to change or to get better,
Yeah.
or to learn from, then we're only going to make the same mistakes over and over again.
Correct.
Right? And so we want to encourage you guys, regardless of what experience you're having in your life, whether you think you've failed or not, it is only an opportunity for you to get up and try again.
Right.
Because what you failed at is an example of what you should not do.
Correct.
Whatever you failed at, okay, this happened when I did this. So I need to change my
Yep.
strategy and
Reroute.
try again.
Yep.
Reroute, right? Wherever you're going to a destination, if you make a wrong turn, you reroute
Correct.
and you find your destination.
Correct.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, it was absolutely an exciting
It was.
episode tonight. Man, we went to we dug in.
Yeah. We did.
We had an
did.
awesome time, man. Again, this is the Mind of the King, and we really want to bring you guys solutions, kingdom solutions to life, right? Whatever it is you're facing through life, I believe that the King has an answer to it. Whether it's in the Word of God, is by the Spirit of God, we believe that the King has an answer,
Yeah.
and we just need to find out what is on his mind.
Right.
And so here at the Mind of the King, we want to share exactly what the kingdom, how the kingdom operates through
Right.
life, whatever aspect of life it is. And we're excited to share that on this episode, this podcast. Again, my name is Gavin Jean.
I am Denroy V. Gums.
It's been a pleasure, man. It's been an
Peace
awesome
out.
time. Have a great evening, guys. Blessings. Bye-bye.
Blessings.